If your writing center looks great on Pinterest, but in the actual reality in your classroom, kids are sitting there frozen, not sure what to do, wandering around, or worse, interrupting you nonstop, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the Kindergarten Toolbox Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Murray, here to help you simplify kindergarten with tools and strategies that actually work with real live 5 and 6-year-olds. Let's dive into your shortcut to calmer days and more confident writers. Because when kindergarten students freeze at the writing center, it's not always about motivation and behavior. Sometimes it is. But it's usually about how the task is designed. Today, we're talking about why kids freeze at your writing center and how, starting with the simple tasks like labeling, can completely change your independence and transform your writing center. Freezing at your writing center might look like kids staring at blank paper, repeatedly sharpening their pencils, or breaking them on purpose to get out of writing. Leaving the center to ask questions, interrupting you during small groups, or doing nothing at all and just hoping that time runs out before somebody notices. And teachers often think, well, they've done this before, why can't they do it now? The hard truth is, centers often expose gaps faster than whole group instruction does. If a task is too big, too vague, or too abstract, kids often freeze out of fear of failing. Writing centers are challenging because they require kids to start independently, remember multiple steps, and apply skills without immediate support from a grown-up sitting right next to them. When the task is draw a picture and write a sentence to go with it, that can be totally overwhelming, even though you might have adorable pictures and vocab words and all the supports there that you think they might need. The truth is, they might need to start with smaller steps for independent practice so that they can feel successful with writing, so writing a full sentence isn't quite as daunting. Because when you break it down, there's a lot that goes into writing that sentence. They have to come up with an idea. They need to draw a picture. That can be overwhelming in itself. Then there's spelling and getting all those sounds onto paper. Sentence structure, remembering the capitals and the spaces and the punctuation. And then, on top of it, you want great handwriting on the lines. It's a lot for young learners to be able to do independently. And surely you have students in your class who are more than capable and ready. But you also have kids who are going to need more support. And this is where labeling changes everything at your writing center. Labeling works because the task is concrete, the expectations are crystal clear, and success happens quickly. Kids know where to begin. There's no mystery here. When you show students pictures of, say, farm animals, and they have to write one single word to match the picture, the student starts writing cat, sheep, barn, and the brain starts to say, hey, I know how to do this. I'm getting the hang of this. That quiet confidence that's starting to build keeps them at the center, keeps them feeling successful, and best of all, keeps them from interrupting you while you're trying to teach. It's a win-win for everybody. Labeling is a strategic entry point in writing. It's a great place to give everyone success in the early writing stages to prepare them for what's to come. So your simple progression here in your writing center might be to start by drawing a picture and labeling to tell what it is, or labeling things, in the center. We'll talk more about that in a second. And then you can expand it to, okay, pick something you labeled and turn it into a sentence by adding a few words. Every student can start with the drawing. Some students will experience success there and be ready to label, and then more students will be ready to move forward with sentences as you build that confidence. Okay, so you're ready to start to transition to a labeling center, but what are you putting in this center? I'm glad you asked. There's lots of different options here, and you don't have to abandon your adorable Pinterest-worthy writing center. You can use those parts just with a different purpose and intent. You can have students choose something to draw and then label the parts of their picture. You can use those pictures that you've had in your writing center and have students label each picture. You can do this by laminating the pictures and having them write with dry erase markers. You could put them on a whole page and put it in a page protector and have them label that way. Another option is to print whole scenes, like maybe a winter scene for this time of year in January, maybe a spring scene or whatever holiday is happening, and have them label the parts of the picture. We have ready-made scenes like this ready to go inside Kindergarten Writing Toolbox, where it's a picture, like a seasonal picture with 4 or 5 white boxes where students will write words to label the parts of the picture. When I create these scenes, I am creating them with kindergartners in mind, so I'm trying to keep the words on the more decodable side so that they can experience success while they're trying to label the pictures. And that's important. So wherever you start your labeling, you want to keep that in mind. Maybe it's CVC word pictures or color words, things that they can have success with. Because remember, we're building their confidence. If you don't have time to prep and rework your entire writing center for tomorrow, but you want a quick win, try just reframing your expectations at that center. Instead of saying, draw a picture and write a sentence about your picture, why not draw a picture, label your picture? Can you turn that label into a sentence? This scaffolds the expectations and gives students more support and makes it feel more achievable rather than daunting from the start. You'll quickly see less freezing, fewer interruptions, and more writing actually happening in your kindergarten classroom. This exact kind of center-friendly, confidence-building writing structure is what we focus on inside Kindergarten Writing Toolbox. When writing centers are designed with the right entry point, behavior improves without adding more rules and reminders, and writing can actually happen even independently. I'll link the toolbox in the show notes if you want more support with that. If your writing center feels hard right now, it's not because your students can't write, it's because they need a better starting point. Shrink the entry, not your expectations, and everything will change. Have you tried labeling in your writing center yet? I'd love to hear how it's going for you. Reach out to me at Teaching Exceptional Kinders on Instagram. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for listening to the Kindergarten Toolbox. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Kindergarten Toolbox. I'm Amy Murray, and I'm so glad you're here. Be sure to check the show notes for all the links and resources from today's episode. For even more tips, tools, and support, head to teachingexceptionalkinders.com or connect with me on Instagram at teachingexceptionalkinders. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow along and subscribe to the show and take a minute to leave a review. It helps other kindergarten teachers to find us too. Teaching kindergarten is tough, but you're not alone. Here's to calmer days and more confident writers. You've got this.